We are starting December, and the Warriors basically ditch all the good work they did in the beginning of. Coming from 4 losses in a row, the things can get ugly. We're gonna show and we're gonna discuss the schedule coming for this beginning of December. We have tough games, so the Warriors can get themselves in a really even worse position. Right now, they dropped to 4 in the West. Everything is super close in that playoff run, so we need to figure things out and we need to turn the table and get back on track. I'm gonna say we're gonna discuss in this episode what Stephen Curry has said. I think he's fed up. I think like I want to call Stephen Curry out a little bit, and we're gonna talk in this video. But we're gonna say what he's speaking at that Steve Kerr and the team needs to do to get things working again. So let's take a look at the schedule before we start. So the Warriors actually playing the Denver Nuggets tomorrow. A game that is more important from the regular season perspective than the NBA Emirates Cup because the Warriors already saved their spot for the playoffs. But then we get really tough teams, right? Houston Rockets right now, they are the they are really high in the standings right now. We won against them. We know that game was really tough. We let them get close. It was a tough game. We're gonna play then in the Chase Center on Thursday, and then back-to-back game with Minnesota is gonna be very intense. Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert. It's a team that has a lot of physicality, athleticism, and it's going to be a tough game for the Warriors. And then 2 days later, Minnesota again. So we are starting ready on fire. And then we have a week with the Emirates Cup games, which will be challenging. Doesn't matter who we're facing. So the Warriors can get really like either they can turn things around or we can still be struggling and we can get even worse. It's important for us. It's two initial 2 weeks of December really gonna give us really good insights about the Warriors. Was that beginning of season just a small thing, a momentum that created hope and beliefs that were wrong in every single Warriors fan? Or can we actually figure things out since we lost Anthony Melton? We have struggled. So can Steve Kerr find something working with that? Like it's clear that he's not. And one of the points that we're going to discuss today, that Stephen Curry said, is exactly about the rotation. So let's take a look. And it's a 2 minutes video. Just watch with me and then we're going to comment what Stephen Curry said after that Phoenix Suns loss about the rotation and what the Warriors should do.
It's the nature of being a professional in this league. It's always difficult to predict what's going to happen. We have a very unique circumstance with this team just because we've come in with the training numbers philosophy and you want it to work and you want it to prove itself correct. We're on a 4-game losing streak, so you have to make adjustments, whatever that means. And everybody has to be ready for what they're asked to do. And if you're not playing, you have to stay sharp. It's hard as hell. No two ways around it. Mo played 2 minutes tonight. Kyle played with Darren like 3 games ago. Mo had, it was a Brooklyn game. He had his strokes in the first half where he had 15 and played 4 minutes a second. It's just hard for everybody. So coach's job is to again make those tough decisions. It's our job to help him. If you're not playing, don't pout. Don't bring the locker room down. There's to help anybody, including yourself. And hopefully we turn the ship around and everybody's happy again.
Okay. Do you think the rotation needs to shorten? It was 13 tonight in the first 14 minutes.
I mean, the only thing I'll say is it is hard for anybody to know or try to get a rhythm and know, what you're going to be after do. And within the first quarter, the second quarter, we said we played 13 guys. That's tough. We are a unique team. It's a unique situation. I don't think that's been done in the league bracket era, but it is an 82-game schedule, and you got to figure out what adjustments need to make. To your question, do we shorten it? We probably need to be a little bit more predictable on a night-to-night basis so a guy can get a little bit of a rhythm. Is that shortening 1 or 2 guys maybe? But the first unit, we didn't start off well tonight, so that was a little bit on us. Try to claw our way back, end of the first, and then we hit a little lull. And whether it's rotations, whether that's lack of execution, whether that's guys just not being in a rhythm, whatever it is, we gotta adjust.
Was it perfect? And look what So this I took it off from the rankings. The Warriors are fighting the rank. I've been number 1 for a week in the power rank. So this like 3 positions last week. So look at this comparison. It's gonna give us a lot of insights of what the Warriors did when the message that Stephen Curry sent Steve Kerr. Like so, trying to shorten the rotation. AD right now, over the last 9 games, the Warriors have outscored their opponent by 14.5 points per 100 possessions in 220 minutes with Curry and Draymond Green on the floor, but have been outscored by 4.6 per 100 in 80 minutes with one on the floor without the other, and are minus 21.5 per 100 in 132 minutes with neither on the floor. So obviously, this is a massive thing, and that's what is Stephen Curry is talking about, right? So when you there's a few things there. Let's analyze, right? So Stephen Curry is sending a message to Steve Kerr that the Warriors sort of need to figure out this 13 man because actually we increase it, right? Before it was 11, then we went to 12, then we are in 13. Even when we lost the Anthony Melton, that I actually think is the key thing, right? The Warriors haven't figured out who's going to pair with Stephen Curry, a guy that can shoot, can defend, and can create plays. As I said in a few videos ago here, Brandon Porzingis is oscillating. He played a little bit better last game, but it is still on and off. Moses Moody is on and off. Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield. Everyone is actually having nights that they are a little bit better and nights where they're terrible. So the Warriors haven't figured out that position without Melton yet. And that's, I think, it's a big piece. But then you lose a guy, you have a rotation, and then you actually add him because now we brought past Spencer. And that clearly showed that Steve Kerr is lost. Lost in the sense that he doesn't trust the team or the pieces that he has around Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. And he's trying to figure out something, but he's trying so desperate that he's rotating these guys even in a quarter. And that gets really hard because you have these guys that are not fantastic, that they are not superstars, and they are trying to understand their role as well and how to play around each other. It changes all the time. So it just makes more difficult for everyone. It was working well in the beginning of the season. And I said here, because also allows when you come with these guys, they're very fresh, they get really heavy on the defense. And the Warriors actually did that well. If you look at KD performance and Devin Booker, they had points, yeah, but they had a poor shooting night. The problem is that the Warriors are not being capable of defending everyone in the floor. So you're letting those guys that are they're quarters one, they're not like superstars, to actually shine every time against the Warriors, and they need to figure out that. And on top of the offense as well, right? So as I said, Stephen Curry is done with that. He's basically saying a message. We know how much he influenced on the team. He's the superstar of the team. He's the face of the franchise. And he's clearly saying that we need to figure out that. And when you look at cutting the rotation, I think the ones that will more likely lose positions at this point, I think, is Gary Payton. I think he can transition to a more like situational player where some specific moments where you had to lock in some specific offense guy or he can play, because he's actually shooting very poor from 3-point right now, which has been one of his things in the past season. I think you also might look again to Lynn Waters the third, but he was playing well at some point and he had a big lump, so don't still working as well. So those two guys might really face a rotation. You already sent Gui Santos to the G League. Pat Spencer, still unknown. He came play well. I don't know if it's going to be sustainable. We have to see, because other guys have really shined in the beginning as well and then come to a lower performance. So I think the Warriors need to figure out that better. We know how much Stephen Curry is averaging close to 30 minutes, the lowest in his career. And he needs more as well, right? He's averaging 23 points per game. That's the thing that I said. I want to call him out because, yes, he needs more minutes, but we need him to play better as well. That first half against the Phoenix Suns was one of the worst things I have seen from Stephen Curry in a while. And that sets up the tone for the game. So we need to figure that out. We need Stephen Curry to play more like that. That's what what every single superstar wants, right? When you tell, and if you have seen the starting five on Netflix, you'll see that LeBron James is saying there he doesn't want to be benched. He doesn't want to control minutes. And I understand that is needed, but you also need to put those guys to play because they're the ones that we want to watch. They are the ones that make the difference. They're the best players in the team. So, and the Warriors are not working without Stephen Curry. The offense without him is really like you see, you watch, and those guys are making a lot of effort. It gives anxiety, like watching that, because those guys looks like they're making a lot of effort to be able to actually like score. So we need more of Draymond Green. We need more of Stephen Curry. We need Steve Kerr to listen and to figure it out. And if you need to cut that in the rotation, so be it. Like we definitely need to look at that because the game, as I said, is December. First 2 weeks will be key for the Warriors to figure out their real potential for the season. And also, I think it's clear for everyone what is needed to be done. Let me know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, and who would you cut from the rotation? Would you give more minutes for? Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.